Hey everybody, what do we got here? We got a 216,700 kilometer Prado. It's been coming into us for, well, I don't know, about 5, 6, I don't know, years, many years. I think 216K, I think probably from about the, I'm going to guess around the 80,000K mark. We'll have a look at the service book soon. Doing a service on it, and I just thought this is probably a good opportunity to have a chat about a few important things and turn the camera around later in the video, maybe. Maybe I'm just mucking around there anyway. got you interested though, didn't it? And look, so we'll go through a few things on the service, the sort of things we're going to look for in particular to avoid. There's a couple of massive problems you can have that if you miss it, it's going to cost you thousands. So we're going to try and recap on all of those for the new people. For the people that haven't gone back to see all the old videos, there's so much information there. It's probably worth catching up on. A video a day plus an extra one if I don't put a video out. Just go find a couple of old videos a day. I'm sure there's people doing a lot more than that. Anyway, we'll go through all the service stuff, all the things we're going to check, all the important stuff, leave all the easy stuff out, and have a chat about a few other things. Like over the last 2 days, the amount of calls, people try and call and the number just comes up red, it doesn't ring, you know, they just obviously haven't seen videos. They've got to understand there's hundreds of thousands or millions of you, there's only one of me. I can't do phone calls. All the information I've got for you is in the videos, and our Facebook groups are set up. If you've got a problem, if you want to write in detail what your problem is and I need some help, write it on one of our Facebook groups, because there's heaps of people that can help. I might get to it, and if I do, I need to do it in bulk so I can help all those people that are listening still right now. As a group, you know, hundreds of people, whatever, are going to be listening, going, yep, they're on the Facebook groups, they've pressed like, subscribe, follow, turn notifications on, all those things, work out how to do it. It's not that hard to do, but, you know, you got to fiddle around a bit, figure it out. You might blow something up, but you never know. I go all right, you know, so I used to hate it as well, but anyway. And I only use the phone, I don't go on the computer, bada bing. Anyway, time to get on with this service. So it's going to be a 210K service. We'll have a look at the book. On the 210K, the air filter is due by standard replacement and the cabin filter. But the way we roll is we just check it every service and replace as necessary when the vehicle's used off-road at all. You know, it's a little bit dusty. It's not a lot, I wouldn't say it's a lot of dirt roads. There's a bit of dust around though. So if it's an on-road vehicle, then what we would do is standard service, replace this at 210, replace the cabin at 210. But like I said, it's 180, 210, 240, every 30,000 Ks for both of those. Other services sometimes check and clean, that sort of thing. Of course, when you change your air filter, you need to clean that MAF sensor as well. Just a quick reminder. The auto electrical, we didn't do it. It's as it is. It's not too bad, but just don't look at it and go, oh, you know, that's not ideal. We're not going to go on the electrical in this video because it's actually not too bad unless we see something really bad. But we've serviced this enough times that we shouldn't be seeing anything really bad. It's a Prado. One of the most awesome vehicles. I just want to say the reason we work on Prados and we've selected these is to reduce our workload. They're one of the best vehicles. We own them, we use them, we drive them. Everybody loves their Prado. They drive beautiful, and everyone's always going to go back to a Prado. So there you go. So if you bring your vehicle to the Prado Hospital, we do ask if you can supply your own oil. Beautiful. You get the 7 litre, the 10 litre. You can buy it on special. Then you know what you're paying. I don't need to charge you for oil. Remind me not to charge you for oil. And of course, you can get the genuine oil filters from lsiauto.com.au. I think the website is with our discount 4B4-2023. Stick to the videos and the posts and you'll not miss the discounts. Genuine oil filters. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at in the first few minutes, we'll just go around the engine bay. If it's the first time servicing your vehicle, or you've just purchased it, or you've just had a battery install, one of the really important things you can do to save yourself over 4 figures is make sure this aircon pipe's down the side here and not rubbing anywhere on each other. What happens basically when they put the dual battery in, this gets pushed out. Sometimes it's out of the clip down there. That one's not too bad. And then you've got to follow along. There's some clips down there. And if you have a look down there, you might almost see there's a couple of places they can rub, but these pipes down here, just have a good look at all of them. They're just alloy pipes, same as those ones at the back there. They're quite thin, and if they rub together, diesel vibration and dirt roads, eventually they're going to rub through. You're going to lose all your gas. It's a pain to change, and I think it's over $1,000 just for the part. So anyway, check down there, make sure they're not rubbing. There's a clip, make sure it's clipped in. Worst case scenario, you cut a bit of heater hose and put that around it so it can't rub. Happy days, you won't have any problems. We've done that on a few cars where maybe the clip's broken or missing or whatever they've done. I don't really care as long as it's not going to rub through. So, you know, have a good check that out down there. I do recheck them as part of a service when I remember. I don't always remember. That's why I tell people in videos, so you can check your own car, or you can do your own car because you can't trust me to remember, whatever the case may be. Battery connection, check your fuel levels, top up your washer bottle, check your coolant level. This one will be fine, BFE recently, so bang on the full line. So don't talk to me about, I don't know how to use what coolant and how to set the level and that sort of thing. Because, you know, there's all these experts in the comments. Paul B, you know, respectfully won't put the rest of his name, but, you know, he's been a know-it-all for quite a while now. I think he needs to start his own YouTube channel and tell us all the information. He's probably got a piece of paper that says he's an engineer, so his head's got bigger than the rest of his whole body, I think. But anyway, don't worry about coming in the comments telling me what I'm right and wrong about, because quite often you're wrong most of the time, wrong twice in the last 24 hours. So, of course, I get sick of these things and I just hit the, I think it's called the hide from channel. And you might go and get a new profile and we'll just press it again, right? Because I can't be bothered with the arguments, mate. This is my show. I'll tell you how it is. If you don't like it, see you later. Don't bother trying to correct it, especially when you're wrong. Sounds a bit arrogant, does it? Yeah, well, you know, I think I know what I'm talking about here. So, bada bing. Okay, don't lean on this. People do that, so I'm just going to keep reminding people, don't lean on that. This is why you watch the videos, because reminders. Somebody suggested in one of the comments, not a bad idea. You could put a heap of zip ties, starting from zip tie here, and sticking up. So you leave the long part. That's not going to matter if it rubs up on the bonnet liner. And that way you know you're near it, because you're not familiar with working on the vehicles, and you could easily go, oh, I'm just going to, you know, climb up here and do an E-jar clean. And to me, I mean, it's not even easy to break. I mean, you get, but look, me working on vehicles, we know, we've seen it, we've been doing it for decades. Plastic components, you just got to watch. You can't climb and lean on the wrong things. You got to go, okay, what's here? Behind here, we've got steel. So you can put your knee there if you like, okay? But not here, because there's nothing there, right? Not really going to do any damage. Up here, you're on the plastic of the fan shroud. You could break it. If you want to lean on something, put your hand on the metal components, intake, these sorts of things. Don't lean on the plastic airbox. You know, you can lean on the battery. That's not going anywhere. Don't lean on the aircon hose. Don't lose your balance. Make sure you've got a good balance. If you're up there on your knees or something, I don't even really climb up there. What do you want to get in the engine bay for, right? Anyway, milk crates. Anyway, you can reach from the side. Works really well. There's other systems, but I'll tell you what, it's just beautiful. Milk crates. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cough there. Anyway, working our way around. Always check on your power steering level, which this one's pretty good. Fuel filter we do every 40,000 Ks, so it's not going to be on this service. Oil filters down there, a bit of a pain to get to, but not too bad. It's hidden down there behind everything, isn't it? Yeah, but we'll get to that. No dramas. So you need your oil filter tool. Make sure your batteries are secure, your battery terminals. Have a look at your wires and everything. But because it's a 1KD, it's pretty boring, isn't it? There's not a lot to check. You're not going to see any oil leaks, any oil. Look at it, 200,000 Ks. Think about this 20, 30 years ago. Is there any chance you'd see a vehicle with 200,000 Ks and there's no oil anywhere? Anyway, let's get up in the hoist, have a look underneath, see if there's no problems under there either. This is going to be a pretty boring video. If you're wondering why I got the cap off, and that, like I said in videos, when I do a service, I don't want to forget about putting oil in. We want to know what's where. You take the sump plug out, air needs to go in for oil to come out. It'll help it flow better. I bring them in hot. I'll let it sit for about 20 minutes. Do the oil first. That way, hopefully it's not too hot, depending on the climate and the temperature. Some hot places you might need to let it sit for an hour and you still burn yourself. But anyway, in Tassie, you might want to just change oil while it's hot to keep yourself warm. But anyway, whatever. Let's get down underneath and see what's going on. Now, if you've got a hoist, now's a good opportunity to go around while it's at working height. This is basically right in front of me. You know, chest tight wheels, check tyre pressures, check tyre condition, check plain wheel bearing steering components. Have a look at your suspension at the top here, because you can't really see this part here underneath, can you? If you haven't got a hoist, always remember, don't forget, Joel's Garage, Australian company. Speak to Andrew in Melbourne, say Anthony sent you for a hoist. They're awesome value for money hoists. Our hoist here, it's about 20 years old, will probably get replaced soon. It's getting close to that one anyway. The new hoist at the new workshop, Joel's Garage, very happy with it so far. You're going to save at least a couple $100, something like that. He did say, because I asked, I said, mate, if I send people, you know, can you look after them? Yep, no worries. So make sure if you do call up, speak to Andrew. We don't have a discount code for online purchasing. And they've got a lot of other gear, jacks and stands and engine stands and garage gear, Joel's Garage Gear, right? So keep that in mind anyway. So what are we going to do? I'm just going to go around and check tyre pressures, tyre wearing condition, and check for playing the bearings. I can't really show you that on the video, but I'm going to grab each side of the wheel, top and bottom, left and right, and just see if there's any play there. And if there is, then you're going to investigate further and work out what it is. Once I get the vehicle up, we'll go through quickly what those possibilities are. So no unusual play in this one. So if you do get movement up and down on a Prado or a Hilux, most likely it's going to be the wheel bearing, which my recommendation is changing them at about 200,000 Ks anyway as prevention. Sometimes they fail just before then, but quite often it's around then, and quite often even somewhere in the 200,000 K range. Better to happen in the workshop rather than on a trip. If you don't go on trips a long way from home, then don't worry about it. Just get it serviced, check for noise, check for play, and just change as necessary. They might last you a lot longer than that, especially because you don't go off-road, no dust, no water, no mud, all that sort of thing. So all those consider. I'm not here to just, sell you the stuff. It's there if you need it. Of course, it's on the shelf. The wheel bearings, they're there for us. We use them. They're there for you if you need them as well. All assembled, ready to go, genuine parts. No better way to do it, in my opinion. Of course, that's what I'm going to say, aren't I? So I'll just shut up about that. This one's got new tyres on it, so the tyre wear's good. We're not going to see much there. So up and down movement, like that. That's going to be that wheel bearing. There's not going to be much else really on these vehicles. It could be something different on another vehicle, but we're talking about these, and generally, if you've got movement side to side on these vehicles, generally what it's going to be, it could be a combination of the wheel bearing, which is why you've got to test it both ways. The inner rack ends on the 150s don't have a lock nut. They can come loose. You just need to put some Loctite and tighten it up. So a bit of work there, but not too bad. You might not need to replace it. That could be a waste of money. On the 120s, they've got a lock nut, but they do get a bit of wear on the inner joint. It's usually only really minor. It might only be one side. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just change the side that's got a bit of play in it. It'll allow your wheel to move, in and out a little bit, which will cause a little bit of wear on the inside and outside edges of the tyre. Might drive a bit sloppy on the road because depending on the road surface, it can just sort of change direction a bit. So could be a cause of a little bit of that for you, but don't hope on that is going to solve all your problems, because there's a good chance that it's probably not that. It's wet. See, the problem with, I might say I don't like working in the heat. I don't like working in the wet. I could say all sorts of things, but what I'm trying to say is, you also might see a sweat on the bottom of the steering rack, but don't worry about that too much. It's pretty standard. Watch our inspection service playlist videos and get yourself educated on what to look for. But you see the problem. I can't really check the suspension. It's levels or whatever, some GVM upgrade. Not saying I like it at all, but just saying that's what it is. I didn't have anything to do with it. It's what it is. But what I'm saying is it's wet. So it's like we can't tell if there was a leak or something. You can't really tell. If it was really bad, you'd notice, you know what I mean? But generally, you're not going to be able to tell too much what's going on. These rubber boots, these rubber things, they eventually go to pieces as well. On our 120, it's finally happened, and you know what? I just ripped them and got rid of it. They're just for good looks. It doesn't do anything. Even when you turn full lock, there's no mud, dust, or dirt, anything going in or out of that way. It just makes it look a bit more tidy, so you're not looking at wires and stuff like that. But why waste your time or money? In my opinion, that's what I've done on my vehicle, and that's what I recommend for you. Some people argue the point that they're there for or whatever, but anyway, they can do that. Cracks. Bugger all on these arms, and this is probably why, I don't know if I might have supplied one set of KDSS arms, because they're different, see, because they've got the KDSS sway bar, they've got this extra, so it's a different part number. So if you've got a 150 and you're getting arms off me, I've got them there in stock, yes, but make sure if you've got KDSS, they're different. I don't have those in stock. I can get them. They're about the same price, but they're just different, right? But this one, hardly cracked. And why would that be, people? Remember what I've said, it's all about the way you drive and your suspension. You have old flog suspension, it's going to bounce around and it's going to crack these bushes. This has got this big fat sway bar, KDSS, therefore helping protect these bushes, reducing the amount of bounce, okay? And of course, really heavy suspension, right? So you might go, oh, it's a heavy ride. Heavy ride's kind of good because it means less movement and less twisting on these bushes, therefore they're going to last longer. The evidence is there. We've seen it on other vehicles as well. The harder you drive it, the older and flogged and bouncy your suspension is. You could have saved $2,000 on arms and got suspension for free then, but instead you're going to have to get the suspension eventually anyway, but you're going to have to pay for arms as well. Terrible, isn't it? Some people say you could just change your bushes. Yeah, you can, but we've gone through that story in other videos. I'm not going to go there, but we just change your whole arms. There's a number of reasons, but anyway, aftermarket gasket, we've seen that before. Let's have a look at all these oil leaks. This old thing at over 200,000 Ks. Look at all this oil pouring off the, oh no, it's dry. Anyway, it must be some oil, diff oil. No bone dry. What do we got here? No bone dry. There's got to be some oil. Let's have a look up on here. Oh, sump and everything's bone dry. Just a bit of grease from the service, from the lubricating the propeller shafts. Oh, okay. Up there, bone dry. What about this plug? Not leaking yet. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just wait till it does. Somebody did mention that O-ring is the same as the one on the crank sensor, because the crank sensor you can't buy separately. I haven't tested that yet, but I'd say they're probably right. It looks about right, sounds about right, and would be about right. So I'm going to get one of these O-rings, and I'm going to put it on a crank sensor next time we do the engine that I remember, and go, yeah, and I'm going to compare the pair and all that, and then I'll tell you in a video later if it is, because crank sensors can just weep a little bit, and you can't buy the O-ring, and it's good to use the genuine one, because if they do weep, it's been a very long time, usually over 10 years. Okay, let's have a look at the brakes. Of course, we've got to look at the brakes. They've got at least 50% left without looking too hard, without pulling the wheels off. Definitely okay till the next service, but I'll have a closer look off camera because it's a bit hard to do it with. I'm just generally having a look around to give you a bit of an idea, a bit like an inspection video, I suppose, but you know, we see this one all the time. Rear pads have got heaps of meat, you know. I don't know if you can see in there, you can see the outer pad, can't you, right? See the road, I'll just move it a little bit. Right, so you can see the outer pad. The inner will be about the same. You can just see the inner edge of it. Let's have a look at this side. It'll be easier for you to see. I'll try and get the camera in there. There it is, right, look at that. How's that? Hit the like button for the camera work, mate. Look at that. So you got the rotor in the middle. The bit with the slot in it, that's the meat of the pad, and then the backing plate, right? So you got heaps of meat. We've probably replaced them last service or the one before. It's a bit wet, so it's hard to see any leaks and deterioration. No damage on the fuel tank. Exhausts are always good. Rear suspension's done. Bushes will be good. No point looking around here. It's got the KDSS, so things don't move. Diff oils will get done at 240. It's every 40,000 k's, 200, 240, 280, 320. Right, fuel hose on the 150 at the moment. We said don't touch that, but on the 120 Pro, there's that fuel hose there. Needs to be replaced. We keep it in stock. We don't sell it separately. It can be included with injector kit, or if you're picking stuff up, you can pick one up. That fuel filter there on the 1KD and the 1GD diesels, not the 1KZ, not the petrol. Needs to be changed every 20,000 k's. Check for plain uni joints. You meant to tighten all these bolts and everything like that. I've never seen one come loose or been able to find one that needs tightening, but standard stuff they put in servicing procedures and stuff. Some stuff's just carried over from older cars that needed these things years ago, like, you know, rear mounts on the transmissions, they used to break, whatever. So there's not much to see here. So we're going to continue with the service. I'm going to get this plate off here, 212 mils, drop the oil, and bada bing. There it is, oil draining. Everyone loves to watch a bit of oil draining, don't they? Oh, look at that, beautiful stuff. Not get dirty black stuff, get out of there. Okay, so we've lubed all the drive line, some plug back in, cover back on. Just want to show you my old Australian made Sid Chrome ratchet, long extension, and the old snap-on Blue Point oil filter tool. Works really well. You just tuck these fuel hoses out the way, bit of a one-handed job. Sounds like I've got a Hilux here, so go and deal with this bloke. And then I'll come back and finish off this service, trying to do it one-handed while holding the camera to show you action. There you go. And look, if you give it the right amount of time, there's no mess. See that small amount of oil off the O-ring just running down from the seal? But I can't actually, I'm going to show you more detail. Hang on a minute, let me see if I can zoom. I'm doing this one-handed, mate. Anyway, right. See that small amount of oil there? It didn't pull and fill, because you got to have the engine oil hot, but then you've got to let it sit long enough, okay? So with a genuine filter, that's how it works. So you get your rag and you give that surface back there a wipe, and then send this O-ring pre-lubricated. So on she goes. Okay, so obviously the oil filter on, hand tight as you can by hands, perfectly fine, it's not gonna go anywhere. 7 litres oil and caps on, dipsticks in, we'll check that later. Battery levels we checked was quite low, so top those up. So don't neglect your batteries. A couple other little battery tips, I suppose. Add only clean water. We've got good water in Melbourne. We've got tank water and we've got filters on it. So call that distilled water if you like, nice and clean. Try and keep it even. How much you add is important as well if you can. And you might even want to give it a recharge after you add the water to it. Only add water, don't add acid. Now we're going to go ahead and check the air filter and the cabin filter. Let's have a quick look and analyse. You can see the pink mark. That shows you how much dirt. It's your indicator before you even take it out to save you the hassle of taking out. And it's been in 2 ways. That's your typical road grime type dirt. This is a good kind of air filter to keep if you're going to use it off-road. So it's not too bad. It's not going to be like a really dirty clogged, but it's dirty enough. So we're certainly going to replace it because it's part of the schedule and it's dirty enough. But if you do a lot of off-roading, you could wash a filter like this, even get rid of this extra part. Wash it and use it for off-road use and save you wrecking your brand new filters, put it in for that day trip or whatever the case may be. We do some crazy stuff like that on the 1GD. It doesn't have this, so they're easy to clean. Now the cabin filter, it's actually not looking too bad, but it does look a little bit old. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace both of them because it's part of the service anyway. Bada bing, bada boom. But normally, let's say you change this within the last year and it looked reasonable like this area here. you could just give it a clean. These are also washable, even though they don't tell you that. We've done a fair bit of testing washing filters, and it actually comes up really well. So check out those videos. Let's continue with this job. So for the air filter, we use the Genuine, and there's the part number in case you're interested. But we use the, you can use any cheap eBay special, you know, 4 for 35 bucks, whatever it is. But this is the Westfield one, the older ones. See, they're a thicker, which I don't mind because it makes them good to wash, but they've actually changed. They're not thin like the thin crappy ones, because the thin ones, the Genuine ones, are really good filters. I like them, but they're hard to wash because they're so thin. But these have changed. Let me turn it over, all right? So this, see, it's really thick. They've thinned down on the new Westfields, and I actually like them better anyway. That's what we're going to put in there, and that's what we use. I think they retail for about 30 bucks or something like that. Trade discount, obviously, and if you crunch them, you'll get a better price. Are you not sure if I should have changed it or not? Doesn't this like brand nice, clean new one look so much better than that? What do you want your engine to be breathing? Yep. See that hole there with the pink in it? It's nice and clean. Shows you how clean your air filter is. Did you know that? And then when you've done 15,000 Ks, have an indication of it. Depends how much you've been on or off road. Then you can spin it around 180 and you'll have a clean hole from the other side. You know, have a look at it, check, inspect, clean. You can't really clean these filters much, that's the thing. Other than when you get to the stage of washing them. They do, like I said, the water soaks in there, oxy action. Mate, they're 50, 60 bucks. You know, it depends what filter, cabin filter, air filter we're talking about. They're actually worth the 5 or 10 minutes. They do take days to dry, so do it in summer. Do your washing filters in summer and be careful. Check it out, see how it works for you. Let us know in the comments if you've done that. It'll be interesting to see. We're just about going to wrap this one up. Sticker on the window, filled up the washer bottle, blah, blah, blah. Going to check a few more bits and pieces. Let's see what else there is yet. To wrap this one up, I just want to say we don't actually touch tyre pressures. I've said that before, most people would know that. Unless we see the tyre looking flat. What do I mean by that? Well, if it's only flat on the bottom, no. Look, different brands of tyres, different sizes, everybody's different with their tyre pressures. So as long as it looks about right, we don't touch them or check them. If we see one low, we will check the others and adjust it and have a look to see what's in it that's caused the problem. But some people are around 30, 35, 34, 36, 38, 42, 45, 38, 39. It's not my business, okay? So keep an eye on your own tyre pressures. People that are on this channel, I'm sure that's what they do anyway. Thanks for watching. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll catch you on the next video, and don't bother ringing because the phone doesn't ring. Watch the videos because there's way too many people. The things you text me lately, it's like you're not watching videos. You've seen one video, there's all these phone calls. It's just, I can't help you unless you watch the videos, and you need to get on channel. Thanks for watching, people. See ya.